Hello everyone, and what is going on? Hyperion-Blue-GT here. Cities Championship is back, everybody, as a first rerun in today's live summit event in the Crew 2. 6 USB Tour cities for the Alpha Grand Prix race cars, and 3 skills for the escape in land-based, water-based for Salam, and air race discipline with aerobatics will take the low altitude in the skies will be settled in as an encore. Ever since from last year, during the USB Tour Cities update for every Alpha Grand Prix race car, the Team Summon is now putting up to have a remain change and get settled in to have a main date available on May 15th through the 22nd of 2024. But I got everything set up and grabbed one racing gear outfit as I have to be well preferred to go for the Spirit Racing competition is now being ready up and joined for having one best second year of the competition for the current season, and of course I just got all kinds of good nitro chemists for every AGP race car is now being settled to have 4 events with no restriction only, and 2 will be available by the Bugle restriction. We'll be using the Proto Alpha Mark II and the Red Bull R314. Better get ready folks, because the time to go for the Racing Team Summon will take it on for the AGP competition in the urban city. As always, if you're new to my YouTube channel, be sure click the subscribe button, then leave a like and comment at the section down below. Check out the links on the description if you want to see more. Don't forget to click the bell for notification on upcoming content videos in the later future. Let's get ready to go and start for today's live summit event. Let's begin! Last week from Ghost Road was a mission accomplished. Update by the record to go achieving the platinum by almost in the top 1000 and adding up with 104th place in 1,289,633 points. One Benety and one pickup truck edition is now being go by the double paycheck to go achieve, and moving on to have a next stage will go for the urban cities will be stepping in for having a motorsport of competition. So we already got the Wolfguard rooftop and the Ghost Recon edition on the Ford F-150 Raptor race truck. But you know how it works, because I got everything to be settled in, and get yourself practice to do some 3 skills on different selection on the land, sea, and air. First up, Escape will take on San Bernardino, as I'm about to be using with the Hummer HS concept. We'll be doing another part since the previous video we'll have to take a major step of the challenge. But of course, doing one best excellent opportunity to go off-roading and Salam is very good to have a first step. But don't worry, my C7 Corvette will be remain stay as I'm about to go and grab the Hummer HS concept to do the first step. But you know the pattern and different starting points. Just have to go and have that hill right over here. This could be a very good extreme off-roading to take the first step of qualifier before entering on 6 AGP events. Drive away and jump anywhere. Yeah, that's a good horsepower and 454 all-wheel drive concept. So I have to keep a good watchful eye out on the trees and rocks. That could be the high speed's most dangerous weakness, that's for sure. Okay, good clear area. Now I'm gonna have to take one good stepping stone jump. Dashing through across and oof, just took a hit by the rock. That could be an obstacle course for sure. So that's 3,331 yards due to the stopping on the rock, and good to be clear. Let's see the results, and good to go in 112,324 points. But very good, and if possible, just have to go with a hypercar or Alpha Grand Prix discipline that you really might need to do some very good best recommendation. So next up, Miami Harbor for water-based vehicle in skill 2. Auto switch vehicle, here I come, and grab the Voucher 1414 Demon is now being checked and at the ready. But you know, every different powerboat might have to go with some skill and different performance. We'll be doing a different style and different efficiency. But circle around, we'll have to go cruising in and slide around the gates. Okay, that should do one good skill for another. Just have to take a half circle around. Kick it up in the high gear. Aim for the right, left, turn hard right, sail upon, and keep a good eye on the finish line. There you go, piece of cake, and that's 20,865 points. Very good for having a powerboat yacht is now being checked, cleared, and achieved for 154,703 points. But after all, nearby by the placement is very good to have a nearly playground to go for training. So it's up to air, then let's go to Chicago for skill number 3. Pilotus PC-21 is now ready up to go full air race. Fly low, we'll always keep it done. Okay, very good to stay on the Chicago River. Going under or over, doesn't matter to see which one will be doing a comfortable choice. Okay, gonna have to take the second one. Always have to overcome it, and just have to keep a good straight up the line and follow the same route. So I got 25,000 points. Multiplier is keeping up by 3 times. And there we go. That should be 33,595 points. Okay, 3 skills is done once again, and practice for the qualifier will be taking on for the 6th Alpha Grand Prix race car for the USST Cities, 156,026 points. But there's going to be having one vanity item is now being included for only one of the 6 events. We'll be using the Red Bull RB14. I'll have to add this up to the list and just have to start out to do a combo event in race 1 will be located at New York City. Yep, the initial on the number is about to be starting out on the 1st. That's why I'm about to go to and just have to go selected by one of the 4 no restriction only. Just have to count out by the numbers will be going a current decent amount of championship participation. Except Las Vegas and few other cities to go by the second one, but Miami is part of it as well for only one of the 8 USST cities event. So which one should I have to start out with? Since I wear the speed racing competition, because I'll have to go and choose the KTM Expo R Speed Racing Edition 2016 Alpha Grand Prix Edition. That's the only AGP race car is about to go to since the USB Tour East update. But of course, I'm always love to go for only a single racing seat road car to go full race car competition represent speed racing competition. Here we go, folks. 3 seconds to go mark on the green.
Welcome to Lower Manhattan, folks. The beating heart of the most recognizable city on Earth. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. This area is usually jam-packed with traffic and pedestrians, but today, the streets are clear for an all-out speed contest past one of the most vertical cities in the world. Hope you're ready, because it's race time!
Alright. Different AGP race car and similar strategy, folks. You know the drill. I just really might need to do a different challenge when using the Speed Racing Edition on this KTM Expo R. But it turns out a good speed and challenging handling. That's why I just had to get used to it and use it on the USST Cities event on New York City. But a very much more stiff and very poor decent rarity handling. But don't worry. I just really might have to go for a follow-up catch-up at any time and do the vehicle details. But still, just have to keep practice well and get used to it to have that Speed Racing Edition on the KTM Expo R.
Drivers should be getting a nice view of the Williamsburg Bridge in the distance, crossing from the Lower East Side over into Brooklyn. It was once the longest suspension bridge in the world. Not anymore, but still an important thoroughfare.
Okay, it's on lap number 2 and still in the lead by 2 seconds behind with the other opponents. Almost there to have the progression in the halfway point. Got to stop at 50%. Alright, there we go. It's about to get shorter and tighten up the speed and handling. Checkpoint clear. Now, you're gonna have to keep a good defense to stay on a good sportsmanship rating. It's getting closer to the final lap, folks. This is it. First one will go all in. Okay, so the counter steering is very much more important, but taking too much oversteer is a bit of distraction to see how you can learn so far. But we've done this many times and possible when using touring cars, but especially for the AGP race cars for a limited time only. But the sunset is still coming around to have a good theme of environment to go for only one season of the first. Heading up to Times Square.
You'll recognize the giant billboards coming up as Times Square. I've been here myself for multiple New Year's Eve celebrations, and there is truly nowhere else like it.
Okay, still got this, and 3 minutes have passed. One more turn to go, and it's going to be a clear podium finish. There we go.
What an amazing start to the U.S. Speed Tour, huh? Incredible racing today. And hang around, because there's a whole lot more of it still to come.
Alright, almost good enough, and it's going to be 99,830 points. So very good, so I'll have to put this up onto my list, and moving on to take on Seattle for race number 2. But by the way, folks, I just really have to go for only one sneak peek preview to have 5 of them after the combo event at New York City. But right on the goal and position on the rank in 13,894 place. So that's Los Angeles for number 6. Got to find race number 3 in Seattle, so I'm very sure of it, and that's why it's going to have to take a good highlight of location. So maybe number 8 will have to take a good stop on the final. We'll be using the Proto Alpha Mark II, but the Red Bull R314 will have to go for race number 3 at Seattle to be highlighted as race number 2. But it's about time to have a single Formula 1 race car to be stepping in to have a different AGP race car than we have done this so far. But most importantly, to have 2 of them for only a vehicle restriction exclusive. Can't say because the 2018 Red Bull R314 is a very good true successor like the RB13. The per level is now being set and checked on the Nitro Chemist in 340, 1002 horsepower and top speed, 268 miles per hour. Then let's go and embrace it to have a spirit of the F1 racing made by Adrian Newey and his team of designers to be built and specifically to be designed on the track. Alright, second race, here I come, and it's about to go daytime.
You know, the Pacific Northwest might have a reputation for being gray and rainy, but when the sun comes out, this is one of the most beautiful cities in the country. You've got Puget Sound, you've got the mountains, you've got a city just bursting with life. So, let's kick it into high gear and check out Seattle. Here we are now. Entertain us!
Alright, let's keep it up and master the bus stop of chicanes to go lining up the moment. This could be a very tough, decent challenge to go respond handling and patient for the nitro. Got to go full boosted a little bit more. Okay, here goes the contact by the barrier. Down the hill I go. Next turn on the right. Okay, quick recovery. Just have to go to the final turn, make my way to the second lap. Okay, that's 4.3 seconds. Got to keep going, and make that faster ejected.
On the left, that's the famous Space Needle, built for the 1962 Seattle World's Fair. As the story goes, its outline was first doodled on a cocktail napkin. Today, it's the most recognizable shape in the city.
Don't mind about the turns, you guys. Just have to practice and keep it clean. The Apex will be helping you out, but only one AGP race car to be exclusively to be single on the line, and just have to keep a good handling response of the commit. But don't think, don't overdo it. That's why I just really had to get used to it earlier before make it much more stronger to improve. Okay, here comes the final lap. Just have to take that next step. Slow and steady, and keep a good motion out there to have that impact smoke.
We're racing alongside the Seattle monorail here, another landmark built for the 1962 World's Fair.
Okay, now another bus stop chicane to go the usual way and the faster way. Almost there. Just have to slow down and just make it one boosted at a time. 10 seconds behind the gap, and it's all good.
And that's another USST Classic in the bag. Next up is a place a lot of people leave their hearts as the circuit makes its way to San Francisco.
Okay, good enough, and that's 93,804 points. Just had to go by catching up number 2 for the list, and just added for the replay later on as I just had to go down to do some plan of development for my own. So San Francisco is going to have to take a good guess before we proceed onward to Los Angeles. Alright, there's number 4 on the list, and no restriction only for the AGP race car. But the good news is, one vanity reward is now being received and cleared for the podium in first place. So next up, for a different AGP race car after the Red Bull RP14 and KTM Expo R Spirit Racing competition. The proto concept Spirit Racing is about to be heading up to San Francisco to make my mark, and just have to go focusing on the tight turns and apexes to find a good line. Just have to go for having one recommend vehicle to be highlighted with a nitro chemist who will be ready at the get-go. But there it is. Here is the Spirit Racing concept is still remain, and just have to go for the usual vanity to be represented as part of the team. As the per level remains in 340, handling level is going to be a semi-expert, top speed 267 miles per hour, and 1076 brake horsepower is now being checked, and go for calling in for a tag on the KTM Expo R Spirit Racing for only one proto concept represented for the same team name. But it's about to go ready up and take San Francisco to have a very good best participation in race number 3 of 6. Here it comes, and go full boosted.
Good old San Francisco. There's a lot of nicknames for the city by the bay, but me, I just call it home. I've lived here in SF for 30 years and proud of it. So let's take a high-octane tour through what I consider the greatest city in the world and show them what it means to be the USST.
Okay, still got a lot of good respawn handling and active wing spoiler to keep a good motion on check. But sparking up the nitro is always have a good ways to cheer. Now, the pattern as it goes, because tight turns and bus stop chicanes is just have to keep coming in and go for the perfect line on the apexes that you already done this before for only one touring car discipline for only one of the 3 locations in the West Coast plus 2 in California. But the checkpoint will have to keep a good motion response feedback and have extra boosted on straightaways. Okay, now coming in. Short straightaway clear. Make it for the right. 2.8 seconds is clear. Now for the final turn. this is where you might need to have enough nitro to go to lap number 2. Okay, that's 3.8 seconds. Still got this in the bag.
That's the Bay Bridge up ahead, crossing over to Oakland and the East Bay. Passes through a couple of small islands along the way, too. One of which, known as Treasure Island, is entirely man-made.
Okay, progression in 42% to go up in 44. Spear Racing is still in the lead, viewers. I still got this in the bag and just have to keep a good line to be well decent preparational practice to do the real deal. Turbine is still up and running. Update on the gap, 7.4 seconds to keep going and during around in the middle of the second lap. .3 seconds clear. Keep it up, and it's gonna have to be reaching up by having a surpassed record on the distance in over 10 seconds. Second lap is about to be almost finishing up soon until the third and final lap will go faster up and running. Okay, keep that line up. Hopefully, few other opponents are still trying to do their best effort, just like USST next. Alright, that's a good slowdown. That's 14 seconds
You can see now
clear.
some of the Victorian-style architecture that's typical of homes in San Francisco. Rents are pretty high these days, and the city enforces strict rent control. So, when people snag a house like that, they stay a long time.
Okay, checkpoint clear. Handling respond well. Okay, half gauge is still good in use. I really hope the spectators are really enjoying for having a nice view out there. Mostly other San Fran people just really love to see some racing on the urban city course. Just like having a good part of IMSA from Long Beach. But here comes the final stretch. Gonna take it and clear the podium.
Wow, what a glorious race that was. I tell you, we Californians have it made when it comes to the weather. And I hope you're not tired of sunshine, because up next is Miami, Florida.
That's 118,112 points is clear. Time to go skipping up forward to have race number 4 of 6. We'll be heading up to Los Angeles. Good on arrival for the Platinum Rank category in 9,601st place in 734,802 points is now being checked and just have to go halfway point to have 3 more events to go. But good thing to have one of the 4 no restriction only to have the AGP race car to go different by the selection as the KTM Expo R Spear Racing and Proto Concept Spear Racing is now being checked and done. So I'll have to be ready up and use the creator's concept Spearmeister SM781 2023 built designed by John Fry to have an excellent concept race car for only one of the 5 proto concept vehicle to have the same different kind of the handling level in semi-expert. But it has 1,025 horsepower and top speed 270 miles per hour to go full maximum in 340 of the per level. Much more impressive and adding up to have some deem ability to go follow up the trail and just have to go for only one AGP race car to have a one single embrace for only one location in LA. But it's about to go for only one single row of IMSA because the countdown will go 3 seconds on the green.
Hey, thanks for joining us today in sunny Southern California for this next stage of the USST through the beautiful city of Long Beach.
Okay, different as before on turn 1 and 2. just have to go around to have a highlight landmark in the pike. Straightaway is very much more important to have a tight turns and 90-degree angle whenever you see the apex. But full speed to have enough nitro, just have to keep it up and just have to keep patient to go with some applied refill during the low speed of sessions. For the first lap, we'll have to get yourself settled in. Just wait. Have the next turn on the left. Watch out for the short bus stop coming in and coming out. Full speed ahead. Now aim towards to the final turn, then enter lap number 2.
That's not a roller coaster up ahead. It's a pedestrian footbridge designed to look like one, built in honor of an amusement park that used to be here known as the Pike.
Okay, it's all good. Just had to find the line and mastered a different kind of a track layout, but even so, much more fine difference than the full official Grand Prix track from Long Beach. But mostly, people of LA and Long Beach just really enjoy for having a good, wonderful racing entertainment. But they love it for next year in 2025. But the strategy it goes, AGP race car to have this part of the segment is a parody kind of an IMSA. Now for the final lap to get closer, just keep going. Have the first and second turn to come around. Patient is efficient. Alright, that's 14 seconds is good. Just have to keep it up. Just only one step at a turn. We'll have to take a good nearby touch to apex.
Nice views of the Pacific coming up after these 2 turns. On a clear day, you can see all the way out to Catalina and the Channel Islands from here.
Now, let's go full throttle and aim towards to the final stretch of the finish line. Yes!
And that's race number 6 in the can. We've only got 2 more left, and it's going to take us all the way across the country to the capital on the Potomac, Washington, D.C.
Alright, that's 115,399 points in 2 minutes, 55.452 seconds. Yeah, so far so good, and it's keep coming along nicely to have some very good AGP race car for the Team Summon. But it's about to go for penultimate on race number 5 at Washington, D.C. But first things first, pit stop will be calling in to have a nitro chemist to be swapping parts and make it well exchange. That's why I'm always had to be well prepared to have a different AGP race car to have this part of the segment to go for an extra change of plans. For starters, I'll have to go exchange the frame magnet on a Proto Alpha Mark X 2020 and make it much more fine Italian taste to be stay remain since the previous Live Summit event a while ago. Okay, all set, good to go, and heading up to America's capital at Washington, D.C. for the 5th race and penultimate of the city's championship. Hope I'm ready because time goes by and racing will always have to go faster. So everything's all check, good to go, and double reminder to have a usual part to have a different handling level on the same 340 level. 1140 horsepower and top speed 271 miles per hour. But I hope one green smoke trail is about to go embrace it and have a green for go for having a faster taste of a competition to see how AGP race cars will be going up onto the track.
Wow, 2 races to go. And this first one is through the heart of America's capital. They call it the District of Columbia because it's not a part of the 50 states, of course. But that doesn't mean it's neutral. And these drivers today won't be in neutral either. It's top gear thereafter. So let's see them rip through Washington.
All right, here comes the turns of the track and corners. You just really have to keep everything what you got so far, viewers. This race is all about to have an AGP race car in America's capital to find a good line. Racing is the element of America's most best entertainment in motorsports. We're almost there to have the final turn is going to be right past over onto the Capitol Hill. Here comes the full acceleration. Fast forward in lap number 2. I'm still very good to have that green smoke.
Well, it's been pretty smooth racing along the National Mall so far, but they're turning now into the Administrative District, where they'll have to start contending with some much sharper turns. Let's see how they handle that.
Alright, looks like handling's good. Suitable check, and revving up engine is still putting up to have some torque and feedback. But halfway there is now being stopped by 54%. Still got this, and make it much good competition. Hit the nitro once more, and we the people are about to be heading up to the final lap in number 3. Progression in 74%, almost there. Okay, good reminder on the check. Still got this. Just have to keep it up to have one more run to go, and it's all clear for race number 5.
Reaching the end of that first series of 90-degree turns, making their way back onto the National Mall.
Here it comes. Make the grand finale, and racing on the USA to clear the podium.
Wow, and that's a wrap for Washington. Great day, great racing, and even greater things still to come. Next up, we'll be racing through the Loop and the north side of Chicago.
That's 2 minutes, 40.331 seconds, and 113,583 points. Just in time, and it's about to go for the grand finale for the USST Cities Alpha Grand Prix edition on the Cities Championship. Alpha Mark II, here I come, and let's do it, viewers. This will be doing Chicago for having a grand finale, and that will be it for now. Just like the original and the rerun, that I just always love to enjoy it for having a good taste of a racing competition. And plus to have some few other recommendations to have some nitro chemists as ever said and done. For only one of the 2 vehicle restriction is now being ready up, and go for the Alpha Mark II 2018 is now being stationed to have a different handling level just like the Alpha Mark X. 1001 brake horsepower and top speed, 274 miles per hour to go full maximum in the per level of 340. Let's do this, folks. The final race in Cities Championship is about to begin underway. As the countdown is about to go in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Here we are today in the Windy City on the southwest bank of Lake Michigan on an absolutely gorgeous race day afternoon. Many thanks to the mayor of Chicago for agreeing to host us today. And best of luck to our drivers as they kick off this last race of the USST season.
Okay, the track gets wider is now safe, and the shorter might get tighter. Strategy is very more important for the AGP race car. We'll have to find a good line and just have to go acceleration. We'll do whatever it takes. So every corner and apexes that you have learned so far when racing at Chicago. So I got a good gap distance in 7 seconds behind. going in forward to have the second sectors, we'll have to take a good stepping stone forward. We'll get shorter to be on the main step on sector 3. Okay, the nitro is still good. Got to be ready to go early break. Slow and steady, and one race car at a time. Just have to give some extra space. Reduce the gap distance. We'll have to make it more extended longer. And the final turn is where you can go faster any way you can. Second lap, here I go.
Coming up full throttle on turn 1 now, and the site of the famous 1893 Chicago World's Fair.
Almost 10 seconds. I just barely got this to stay on the faster pace. Progression is now being stopped by 44%. Right turn clear, braking response notified. Alright, good inside line is checked and suitable before approaches to go back to cross the bridge. 14.2 seconds. Very good. Okay, back again. Just hold it steady and just have to take a good turn to stay around. Checkpoint clear. Going back onto a short straightaway with a few of short bus stop chicane. Alright, perfecto, and good motion check. 16.3 seconds clear. One more push, and it's off to the final lap in number 3. Almost 300 miles per hour to have a good applied straightaway to the approaches from the last turn, and the first turn is the courtesy example. It all comes down to this. Chicago is doing well proud and competitive for only one Alpha Mark II to stay on the good clean racing line. But even so, but the 20 seconds is just have to take a good optional main row of the objective. But it's already over by 3 minutes and 30 seconds because it'll have to take a good decent amount of a clock reminder to go by 30 seconds to go until it reaches up by 4. 10% to go. I hope this is gonna have to get nearly there. Okay, just slow and steady and be competent and patient.
Looks like we're coming in pretty fast towards a hairpin turn just up ahead.
Alright, now one last push and it's off to the finish line to go for a clear podium.
And that brings us to the end of this last race of the U.S. Speed Tour. What an amazing series of races this has been for our drivers and for everyone watching at home. We'll be back in a few months with something new and very special. So keep your eye on Motorflix, and I'll see you soon.
And that is a good 4 minutes, 17.720 seconds to have a final outcome in 111,068 points. Now that's what I call a good AGB urban city competition, as we already done this since last year, as original and first rerun is now being cleared once again. But only 1,174,853 points in rank 2000, 533rd place is now being arrived, and the weekend is about to go underway. So I hope you guys did so far out there to have 6 events we'll be using on favorite Alpha Grand Prix race car, and 2 of them by vehicle restriction for the Alpha Mark II and Red Bull RB14. For only 3 skill is still being yet remain to have the off-roading for the Escape, water based on Salam, and planes will do the low altitude at Chicago. But in the end, every team summon will always have to go for a rerun for having a new year and just have to keep moving on to have a very good best motorsport team summon for having a one racing competition. So next up, Night Shift 2 is about to go for having a best time on the rerun to have some new vanity is now being labeled on the goal, and plus the Kaido O edition on the Nissan 300CX Type C32 is now being available in the Platinum. Exterior parts for the Nissan Skyline GTR R34 model is now being available to be either on street racing, drift, or drag race disciplines. But you know about the 6 events will go for a preview to be selected to be available to have 3 cars, including the Force vehicle on the Nissan 300CX Type C32 Kaido O edition is now being available by loan. But you might need to have the Skyline GTR R34, Nissan 370C Type C34, and Lamborghini Diablo GT for the combo event on the Alpha Grand Prix Discipline event. Speed Trap, Slalom, and Low Altitude what you might need to do. And plus, drag race discipline along with street racing is now being going on the driving stunt set in the agency. Well, I'll have to keep a good watchful eye out on Carnage until being open before at the end of the month in May 29 through June 5th earlier before the second week will take on Kaboom in the first rerun as Japan bids will be set by coming soon. We'll be ready to go to wrap this up at the end. But I still got a lot of time left and just have 3 more days to go for Cities Championship until the competition is now being set and done for only 1 week, and then Japanese street racing, and plus for only 1 Italian road car to go for a combo event will be patient on the 22nd through 29th of May. Thank you for enjoying watching the video in the Crew 2 folks. I hope you enjoyed. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel for a like, comment, then click the bell for notification on upcoming content videos if you'd like to see. Follow me on Deepinet Art, Instagram, Twitter, GT Planet, Patreon, Discord, and more social media platforms. And don't forget to check it out all of my screenshot images on UDRS Insportec, Vision Total Drama, and Dream Art Livery Style Dispenser presented by myself, Hyperion-Blue-GT, as you may ever welcome at any time. I'll be see you guys next time on the live summit event in the Crew 2, and I look forward to see you again in the next video. Keep on racing, stay clean.